Welcome to week 3 of Eco 501, sections 1 and 2, Managerial Economics, Spring 2021, Prague University. This week, the topic is titled as Thinking Like an Economist, and it's broken into 4 components. Component number 1 is the basic competitive model. Component number 2 is incentives and information. Component number 3, alternatives to the price mechanism and how to read a graph. Component number 4, opportunity sets and trade-offs. Some of these topics we've been building in the first 2 weeks. Now we are going to go into detail. So let us do a little bit of share screening. So this is week 3. We are thinking like an economist. But before we start, we'd like to do a little revisit of what basic topics we've covered in the previous week. What we did, we gave an introduction or a preview to how an economist thinks. And then while we did that in last week, we looked at how choices are made by households and what trade-offs the business firms and households experience. Then we said the decisions are influenced by incentives, a set of information, and opportunities of exchange. There was a fifth reason, distribution, which we won't consider. If you look in each question, in parentheses or brackets, we've written why. The basic objective of this is, as we say why, we also want to know what will happen if not. If we can answer the question why not, we'll probably be able to answer the question why. Then we discussed the market as an institution. Why are we looking at it in a market setting? Economics looks at exchanges between two parties, a buyer and a seller, where they meet under a market institution. Another advantage of analyzing economic activities based on market institutions is that markets make possible large-scale cooperation with no central coordination. And as we will see today, markets are based on competition, rational consumers, and profit maximizing firms. These three terms, rational competition, rational consumers, and profit maximizing firms, we have written in red ink because these are the things that we will start today's topic. So right now, I'll pause to see whether we've learned what we have, and you can pause now and then get back very soon. Okay, let's get back to the screen sharing. The basic competitive model, the reference is still as the same as last week, Stiglitz and Walsh, pages 25 to 39. What is competition? Competition has many connotations. Competition can be defined in many ways. So whatever your outlook is, whatever your discipline is, the definition of competition will change. In economics, we refer to competition as how much market share does a seller or a buyer have. Market share refers to the total transactions in a market. So if there are 100 transactions in a market, or the transactions are valued at say 100 taka, how much of this 100 taka, the percentage, does each seller or each buyer command? This has nothing to do with the number of firms in the market. For example, our telecom industries, how many operators do we have? We have Grameenphone, we have Robi, we have Banglalink, and we have our national operator Teletalk. So there are 4 firms. If, for example, each firm had a market share of 25%, what would that be? That means that it's a highly competitive market, although there are only four firms. Okay, and so the basic thing is how much market share does each firm command? Now, if the market share is unequal, then we say the competition is not pure competition, it is non-competitive market. One of the parties has an advantage over the others. In economics, we assume perfect competition or pure competition. How is perfect competition defined? Perfect competition is defined as a situation where each seller has zero market share. That means if the total transactions in the market is worth 100%, each seller does not command more than 0.1%. Zero does not mean zero as per se. Zero means that each seller's contribution to the total industry's transactions is so little that no single seller with their particular decision can influence the market. Okay, that means they cannot influence the price at which the commodity will be sold. Again, we ask the question why and why not. Rationality is the activity of choosing the best from a set of alternatives. Let's ask the question why not? If we are not choosing the best, we're choosing, say, better or good. What does that imply? That implies that we did not do the best under the particular environment. The environment, again, the term comes back from the previous week, under the environment that we find ourselves in. Okay, so if people are not rational, there is a scope for further improvement. If there is scope for further improvement, that means we haven't reached an efficient situation. That's why we expect that our decision makers are rational people. They can identify what is the best outcome under the situation or environment they find themselves in. Who are the rational consumers? The rational consumers are the households. What is their objective? To maximize things they like, which we will term as utility, minimize things they don't like, which we will term as expenditure. Rational firms are just the mirror image of households. They maximize profits or revenues, things that they like. They minimize costs, things that they don't like. Okay, the first property of the basic competitive model is under perfect competition, firms are price takers. What does price taker mean? Price taker means each firm has zero market share, or the market share is so small that a single firm with their particular activity cannot influence the market. That means the price at which each unit of a good will be sold will be determined by market demand and market supply. Market demand and market supply means sum total of all demand by households, sum total of all supply by firms. A classic example is market for eggs or bananas in Dhaka city. Thousands of people sell bananas and eggs, but a single producer, no matter how much he decides to sell tomorrow, or if he decides not to sell at all, is not going to influence the total transaction of eggs or bananas in Dhaka city. So the price of bananas and eggs in Dhaka city will be determined by the total demand or demand of all households, total supply of all firms. Now, basic competitive model is a benchmark. Benchmark means this is the ideal situation that we expect. For example, the human temperature, body temperature is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. This is probably never the temperature of our body at any time. But this is the reference of a temperature. If it is more or less, then we can come to a conclusion that we have deviated from the standard body temperature of a human being. Perfect competition is also like that. This is the ideal situation. Then we look at how is it deviating from the ideal situation. So we come to the end of part one, which is the basic competitive model. Okay, this is our learning outcome. After this video, please ask these questions to yourselves after reading the text. Why does the basic competitive model assume rational consumers and profit maximizing firms? Answer is very simple. If firms are not rational, households are not rational, what will be the outcome? Why are firms price takers under perfect competition? Simple, because their market share is zero. They cannot influence the industry outcome. Why does the above happen? What happens if the above does not happen? So, if we ask the question why not, we will probably be able to answer the question why. So, and much of economics is common sense. So, we come to the end of part one, which was the basic competitive model. In part two, we will look at incentives and information. Till then, bye.